Welcome to Life in Calgary, Alberta. I'm your host, Patrick Murray, and today we're going to talk about what is winter like in Calgary, Alberta. But before I do that, if this is your first time in this channel and you want to know everything there is about what it's like to eat, sleep, breathe, live, and play in Calgary, Alberta, then guys, just hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so you get notified every single time I release a new video. Now guys, I got to tell you, I've lived in Calgary since 2001. I've lived in 5 different cities in my lifetime, but I've been here since 2001 and I've been a realtor here since 2010. And that means I have some specialized knowledge about the city of Calgary and the surrounding bedroom communities. So if you are considering a move to Calgary or one of these communities and you would like some assistance to purchase a home, feel free to reach out to me. My information is below. Send me a text, an email, or a phone call. I will absolutely get back to you. Okay guys, let's do this. Let's talk about what's winter like in Calgary, Alberta right after this. So first, let's take a look at this weather chart here and giving credit where credit is due. This is from climatetop.com, and this talks about the temperature in Calgary year long. So we've got the max temperature in the red, and then in this purple, if you will, we've got the average, and then the blue is the low. Now, I'm from Canada, so I use the Celsius scale, which is over on the left-hand side here. But let's start with, in the summertime. So it says in the summer that, in July and August, our temperatures can get up to, our average temperatures are around this. It looks more like, 17, 18 degrees. That's false. I don't know where they're getting their numbers, but I would say that our average temperatures are more like, this above 20 for sure. We're more in this high area. So in summertime, especially the last little while, the last several years, I should say, temperatures in Calgary have been more like, 25 degrees, that sort of thing, kind of as an average. Do we get over 30? Yes, we absolutely do. So temperatures jump up, that sort of thing. Continuing on here, September says the average here is, probably closer to between 10 and 12 degrees. I disagree. Our average temperatures in September are probably still around this 20, 21 degree area, that sort of thing. And then as we move into October, our average temperatures start to drift down a little bit, but I would say this is the high temperature here is getting more accurate as we get into, probably, 15 degrees, that sort of thing, later in the month, down to 12, that sort of thing. Now, it's not unusual. In fact, it's quite often happens where we get snow on Halloween. And so that would mean our temperatures are below zero. But again, keep in mind, this is from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So these are averages that they're coming from. And again, I don't know where these people got their numbers from, but I like the fact that it's a chart and we can talk about, and I can at least give you my take on where our temperatures end up. Now, normally, November, December, it's winter. It's, we're full on. We are, I would say, normally we are below zero or around zero in November, December, sometimes trending downwards, sometimes we get -10, that sort of thing. It can be all over the place. Now, this past year, we've had a really nice November and December, thanks to El Nino. And my understanding is El Nino is when the patterns with the winds in the oceans and that sort of thing are such that the winds are coming from the Pacific Ocean, which are warmer than when we get the winds off the Atlantic Ocean, which are cooler, which cools our climate much more in the wintertime. So we've had just an absolutely balmy, in my opinion, balmy November and December, where we had temperatures, zero, above zero, several days. My son likes to go to the outdoor rink, and he was there quite a bit around Christmas time. The temperatures are like 5 degrees, 6 degrees, so above Celsius, so above zero here. So it was really nice. We had a really nice winter introduction into winter. So it's been very, very mild. Now, that's not to say it can't get very cold, because it can get very cold. And it's not unusual for Calgary to see these cold snaps occur where it's minus 20 degrees or below. And now this doesn't stay, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. And let me tell you, if it's 2 weeks, I mean, we are sick and tired of it by the end of that time. However, we also get a lot warmer temperatures too. We get these things called Chinooks. The Chinooks are warm winds rolling off the mountains and the foothills, and it creates this cloud barrier that insulates the warmer air underneath, keeping the city nice and warm. So we could be, minus 10 one day, and the next day we could be plus 10 or higher. So it's pretty crazy. We get these really nice breaks. And as I've said in other videos, if you've seen them, I will say it's not unusual to see people walking around in shorts. So this is kind of gives you an idea of the average temperatures. January, I would say our temperatures, yeah, minus 10. Average would be close in January, I would say, maybe a little warmer, but we'll find out this January, as we are into January right now, and then in February it starts to warm up. But I would say that in March, yeah, this is pretty accurate. Where I would say more like between the average and the high temperature for March would be accurate for what we see for temperatures. So a little bit above zero. April things improve, and in May we're off to the races, guys, usually, and people are getting the yards ready for and that sort of thing ready for the summer. So this gives you an idea of the temperatures throughout Calgary of what we would normally see. And again, I've tweaked it a little bit to tell you what I have experienced here. So this little chart right here just demonstrates what the weather was like this past December. And like I said, it was quite mild to what we would normally see. So we've got the temperatures, humidity, pressure. We're going to concentrate on the temperatures here, guys. So you can see the high in December was 16 degrees, and this was on December 5th at 2 p.m. That was recorded. That was our high. Our low, just a few days later, check it out, on December 9th. 4 days later, minus 11 in December on December 9th. So just a mere 4 days later. And it's interesting because then it warmed up again. We had literally two snow events, not really big deals in Calgary. Well, the one was kind of a big deal. The second one wasn't, but it was quite warm. In fact, it says our average high for the month of December, when you take together all the cooler and the warmer days, was 1 degree. And in fact, I think that our temperatures were above the average highs, above average all November, or pardon me, all December long pretty well, almost except for a few little days here like this minus 11. So our past December defied the odds. It was really, really nice. November, same thing, really, really nice. Really enjoyed it. It was easy to put my Christmas lights out this year, get on a ladder. I didn't have any gloves on or anything like that because it was so nice out, which was a real nice change for the month of December. Now, just to further demonstrate what the temperature's been over the last little while, this is the high and low weather summary for the past few weeks. So as of the making of this video, it's January 9th, or the beginning of making this video, January 9th, because I'm going to take a few days to take you through what's going on in Calgary right now. And you can see that on December 28th, our high was 10 degrees Celsius. Now, that's way above zero, guys, way above the freezing point. And I mean, that was just a beautiful, beautiful day to be out and about in Calgary. Now, you'll notice here the low the last few weeks. Well, that was yesterday, January 8th at 2 a.m. It was minus 19 degrees Celsius in Calgary. Now, we have something when in winter called wind chill, if you're not familiar with it. So wind chill is when the wind is up. So if you think minus 19 is cold, add the wind to that and it's even colder. So for example, yesterday, I think the temperature was, I can't remember what it was in the morning when I took my kids to school. It was warmer than minus 20, but with the wind chill, it was minus 24. So on such days when it's below minus 20, it's direct entry into the school. So the kids can go not hang out and wait in the schoolyard for the bell. They can go directly into the school when it's colder than minus 20, and the teachers that are opening doors to let them in. Now you can see the average over the last few weeks was, well, minus 2 degrees. Now, just to warn you, we've got something coming up, and I'm going to take you through that next. I think this, if those of you don't understand the weather in Calgary, this might blow your mind a little bit. So this is a 7-day forecast for the next 7 days here. So today we are Tuesday, so I pulled this up yesterday. So it's saying the high today, Tuesday, is going to be minus 2. But I can tell you this morning it was a lot cooler. This morning, it was overnight. It was minus 18. So it was a cooler evening. But and it was cool when I took my kids to school. However, it wasn't warm enough that the school would allow the kids to go directly in, so they had to hang out in the playground for the bell. And you just dress for winter in such cases because it was warmer than minus 20. But it is warming up today to minus 2 degrees. So I'm going to take you outside. We'll take a look at what that feels like, and I'll take you out over the next few days so you can get an idea of what the temperatures are like. Now, tomorrow is going to be much cooler. It's going to be minus 18. And with the wind chill, it's going to feel like minus 27. And overnight, it's going to be minus 25. And they are saying that we are expecting some snow today and tomorrow, although I haven't seen any yet. And we might get a little bit on Thursday. Now, on Thursday, it's going to be even cooler at minus 24 degrees with a wind chill of minus 32. Now, again, guys, just to give credit where credit is due, this is from theweathernetwork.com. So this is where I got this information. And on Friday, it's going to be minus 29. But with the wind chill, it says it's gonna feel more like minus 30. You know what, guys? I bet it's gonna feel a lot cooler than that. And then on Saturday, minus 26. And let me tell you, minus 29, minus 26, you really can't decipher what that is on your body. Doesn't matter. Cold is cold. When your face is freezing, that is chilly. And so on Saturday, it's saying with the wind chill, it's going to be minus 29. But again, I think it's going to be cooler. And I will be taking my son to a football camp at 8 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So it will be very cool on those days. And I'll have to make sure the car is going to start, to make sure we take precautions to ensure that's going to happen. And on Sunday, minus 23. With the wind chill, it says minus 28. And on Monday, we're going to have a big warm up to minus 11 with minus 17 with the wind chill. So for reference to that weather chart that I showed you earlier, today is Wednesday and we are the 10th of January. And so we had a weather event overnight. We got some snow and the weather turned a fair bit cold overnight. Now this morning when I took my kids to school, it was minus 19 degrees Celsius, but with the wind chill, it felt more like minus 30 degrees Celsius according to the news. And let me tell you, it was chilly because I was out first thing this morning and I was shoveling. Now, right now my car said minus 20. I don't know what it is with the wind chill, but I know my iPhone said that winds could get up to 25 kilometers an hour. Now it is kind of breezy out, so it is a little bit cool. So how am I dressed? Well, guys, you see I got a toque on, a good heavy toque. I got my jacket on. I've got some layers, as well. Now, normally I recommend wearing gloves, as I was this morning when you're out and about. Pardon me, not gloves, but mitts. I recommend wearing mitts because mitts are a little bit warmer than gloves. But I'm wearing gloves today, right now, so I can fiddle with my camera. But I highly recommend wearing mitts instead. If you're going to be out for any time that's extended and you're not going to be active, then I would recommend, some long johns or some winter pants. And, I've got my jeans on, I've got some good boots on, and, I'm doing my best to stay warm. But that's what it is right now. I'll report again tomorrow and you'll see just what's going on and how much colder the weather's actually going to be. All right, guys, so here we are. We are January 11th. And I woke up this morning at 7 to get my kids ready for school, and it was minus 30 with a wind chill of minus 46. Now I don't know what the temperature is right now. I do know that it was pretty cool. I was out shoveling today. No fiddling around with mittens today, or gloves today. I'm wearing my heavy duty good weather mitts, and I've got a much heavier underlayer on. When I was shoveling this morning, I even wore ski goggles to protect my skin because your skin can freeze very quickly in these types of conditions. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time out here. I can tell you that it is cold. Yesterday I had those gloves on. I can tell you when I got back to my vehicle, my fingers were pretty cool. These ones are really good heavy duty gloves, so my fingers are a lot warmer today. So now I'm going to take you into my garage and I'm going to show you something for those of you not used to this that you might find kind of interesting. All right, guys, so this is my garage. I've got a Jeep and I've got my car there. Now, you're gonna see that there's a cord here coming out of my Jeep. And that's because
there's something inside the engine block called, or around the engine block called a block heater, and that keeps it warm. So it keeps the fluid levels warmer in the battery, so that hopefully everything will fire up and start as it should. And you can see this cord leads to you know, an electrical outlet here as well. And please pardon the mess. This is my garage. It's a bit of a catch-all. Now, it's important to have your car plugged in these kind of conditions. The Auto Association recommends anything under -15 you should be plugging in. My car, strangely enough, does not have a block heater, but I've been very fortunate. It's newer than my Jeep, and I've never had an issue with it starting to date, knock on wood. I did start both of them this morning. They started just fine. Now, something for me, I'm very fortunate that I have a garage. And the garage is important because it helps to keep the wind chill off the car. And I find that that really adds to the issues with the vehicle starting in the daytime. So if you have that, if you have a garage, if you're fortunate enough to have a garage and park in a garage in these kind of conditions, hey, you are the envy of a lot of people. So there are a number of things that you should be doing for your vehicle. One is you should have a full tank of gas in these kind of conditions, because you can get condensation in the tank, which can freeze and cause issues with starting. So if you have your tank more to the full side, then that helps to eliminate that sort of thing. Having some gas line antifreeze you can pour in is always a good idea as well. Again, you know, having your car plugged in, starting it on a regular basis to make sure it turns over, to warm it up a little bit, and to make sure that everything's functioning as it should. So guys, again, this is January 11th. It's cold. Apparently tomorrow it's supposed to be even colder. Wow, can't believe it. I'm going to take you inside my home and just show you a few other things that you might find interesting that I do to prepare for these types of conditions. So this is a really important piece of equipment that I own, and not everybody has one of these or has a version of it, but some people do. This is called an eliminator, and what it is should my car die, I can boost it. Now this can do, you know, a lot more. It's got plugins and that sort of thing, so you can plug stuff in, you can charge your phone, that sort of thing in a power outage. But the reason I bought it is because you can charge your battery or boost your battery should the battery of your car run out. So in cold weather like this, you know, when the cold weather's coming, I plug this in, I make sure it's charged up. So if I need it at home, I got it. If my wife needs me, I can drive over and boost her battery. So this is something important if you're driving around. Also, you should always make sure that you have an extra sleeping bag or something like that in the back of your car, maybe a shovel and some beacons so that you don't get hit should you get stranded at the side of the road. Anyways, these are all good things to do when you're driving around in this type of weather. Whew. Well, good morning, guys. It is Friday. We are the 12th. You can see all the smokiness from my breath here. It's not bad breath. That's how cold it is. I mean, it doesn't take much to get this happening when it's cold, but it's really cold. This morning, it's -35, and with the wind chill, it's -46. And I was just listening to the news, and they were saying that at this time of year, our average high is -3, and our average low is -15. So it is really cold. You know, my legs are already getting cold. I've literally just stepped out of my house. And the reason why I'm out here is because I'm going to go out. I'm going to start my vehicles to make sure they're running for the day, make sure my wife can get to go where she needs to go, and because I also have to take my kids to school this morning. But it is cool. Now, I do just want to reiterate, this is not the norm. Again, I just said our average high this time of year is -3. Now, it's cold today. Very, very cold with that -46 wind chill, but it's supposed to be even cooler tomorrow, potentially -49 or -50 with the wind chill. And then Sunday it improves slightly, and then Monday apparently we're supposed to be back to -8 and have improved temperatures from there. So fingers crossed, guys. I just want to let you know what the weather's like in Calgary, Alberta, or at least what it can be like in Calgary, Alberta. All right, guys, so since my last clip, the temperature actually dipped even more from -35. It actually went down to -37, and now the temperature is starting to come up a little bit. So we're seeing a little bit of improvement, but the high today is going to be a whole -31. And as I said, it is expected to be a little cooler tomorrow before we see a bit of a reprieve. Now, again, I do want to stress that this is not the usual. This is not something we normally see in Calgary. And just to give you a little bit of perspective, my kids were both born and raised here. My daughter's 9, my son is 12, and they've never experienced temperatures this cold in Calgary before. So that's how rare it is. Normally our average at this time of year is around -3 degrees. And I just want to take a quick moment to show you the skyline here too, if you can see it behind me. And you can really see in this shot here, this shot of the city, all the condensation coming out of the heating systems of the buildings and even the Bow River below. Guys, that means it's really, really cold in the city right now. So this is a blip. This is not normal. I mean, it's normal for us to get a cold snap where we get really cool temperatures for a few days, but not like this. This is very, very cold. This is life-threatening if you're not prepared for it. So like I said, if you are considering a move to the city of Calgary or one of the bedroom communities and you would like some assistance to purchase a home, feel free to reach out to me. My information is below. Send me a text, an email, or a phone call. I will absolutely get back to you so you can live your life in Calgary, Alberta.